You're going to be in that rut, and nobody's coming to save you. No one is going to coming to break that chain of reactivity. You need to find a way to. I believe we need to find a way to break out of that rut because it's going to keep happening. That's for starters. That's a very good one to. If anyone is interested in doing something positive about negative erratic emotions or something, because it's the same thing. Erratic emotions, negative energy is the same thing. It's just polarities, positive, negative, good, bad. It's the same thing. So you need to find a way. Unless that's why I said earlier. Unless you're very very tired of that existence of that kind of existence, then you wouldn't do anything about it because then you wouldn't be committed enough to want to break that cycle. So when once it's serious enough and very very um, demanding and tasking on the individual in question, then we start looking for alternatives on how to solve it. But if you haven't been to the point of uh, desperation and almost giving up, then it will just look like, hey, it's life. I mean, there's a popular saying like, it's life, shit happens and all. Yeah, shit happens, but do you want shit to keep happening to you? That's the question. There's a way out. You could do something about it. But are you committed? Is it going to be easy? No. Are you committed? Are you committed to that lifestyle to make that change? And it's going to be a conscious decision. You can't whip your way around that. You can guess and arrive at positive destination. You have to be committed because you're going to have this kind of 5 steps backward, 2 steps forward kind of journey. But you have to be committed to that journey to see it to fruition. And at the end of the day, you're going to find something very beautiful. I can't even find the words to describe, but you're going to start living like the alchemists. That's what it's called in the Eastern tradition. Because now you're taking um, the negative energy and you turn it to base metal, then to coin. That's how it's described in alchemy, right? Turning base metal to gold coin. So you're going to take all those energies, transmute it, so to say, and bring it to a place where it's now purified. Let's just call it purification process. It's now purified and it's now positive. Then you can direct it to whatever. So you have to be outside of that realm, so to say. Because once you're inside, you don't have this bird's eye view, then you can't do anything about it. You're stuck. You're in a bird's eye view. You're in the system. So you need to sort of detach for a bit, then see what's happening, observe it. You know it's bad. Okay, we know it's bad. Leave it at that. Bad energy, bad juju. It's cool. Then, what am I going to do with this bad energy? That becomes naturally the next question. What's to be done? Okay, I'm no longer entertaining it. And it's very strong. The negative energy has such potential that that's why it's very hard to break out of habits and stuff. It keeps moving. It's a dynamic energy, an energy in motion, unlike the positive. Positive is full of potential, but it's just dominant. It's just docile. It's just there. It's not doing anything. But the negative energy is moving. It's always moving. So it has this pull that you need to be really, really conscious of it to be able to um, pick it out and separate it, then transmute it. But if you don't know, if you're not watching things consciously, you're just going to keep perpetrating the negativity, and you find your life is surrounded by so much negativity that there's almost no way out. Yeah.
You've seen a lot. You've had to. There's no way a person can be that descriptive without having either experienced or witnessed it. And I find it fascinating that even subconsciously, I think a lot of us know this,
Yeah.
but the problem is escaping it, or like you said, purifying it. How do you purify something that is making you? How do you how do you just change it into something else? That is a skill
Yeah,
that
that exactly that. That's a skill. So, like I said earlier, right? Purifying it has to do with being observant. It's little basic skills actually to just, they say saints are ordinary people to do the little things, right? So It's in the little things which we take for granted. Actually, something as trivial as small as just being calm, just having a naturally calm persona, can do you more in 1,000 ways than a very raunchy, raggedy persona. To be honest, because then you're taking everything at face value first. You're not just getting bombarded ASAP as it happened, right? You're taking a step back whenever something happens. You're like, okay, where did I go wrong? Is this me? Is it them? It's just more like analyzing every situation. That's the first step. That's the baby steps of it. That's just the introduction. When you arbitrate ways of living like that, what happens is naturally things just don't affect you as they do other people. So the same situation, different people will handle the same situation differently. Something happens to them and they go, no, on the offensive ASAP. No, 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 this blah 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 or whatever. Then there's this other person, this other guy who's just cool. He's affected. Make no mistake, he is affected, but he's not feeding that cycle. He's not feeding that energy. He's seen it. He has observed it for what it is. A negative energy that wants something from me, wants a reaction from me to continue its journey, and I'm not going to give it. That's the first decision. Deciding not to feed that train, that cycle of negativity any longer. That's the first step. Then, once that becomes arbitrated in one's personal life, the rest becomes much easier. Then you naturally you find yourself that you find it easier to meditate to some extent, and with that brings extra dimension to you, space. So the way I understand this is this: the reason why we are so reactive, the reason we are so reactive to everything around us and to negative situations, is because we no longer have that space within us. So if I was to take something like this, then wrap it with an airtight leather or nylon or something. So whatever is coming from the outside, it be directly. It will hit the layer of the nylon first, and I'm enclosed in this bubble of space, which gives me the time to observe, then respond to the situation and not react to it. Then I choose my response carefully. I choose my response like, okay, this is this, but I'm not doing this because this is what this wants, which is negative. But I'm not going that route. So I think until you come to the point of tiredness and you're just tired of everything, you wouldn't have that strength to go full mode and be committed to that journey because it's a tasking journey. It doesn't mean you wouldn't get angry. You get angry. You have slip ups every now and then, some steps back, some steps forward, but eventually that's the way to go because then at the end of the day, you're going to break out of that chain of reactivity for good, totally. Then you become what they call a master because you've mastered the act of not reacting but responding. You become a master.
I hope y'all taking notes. I sure am. Like I'm constantly working on this every day, bro. I am. I got to,
Mm.
because the older you get, the more you realize that you are more alone on this ball of dirt than you think you are.
It's a personal journey.
Nobody, yeah, like you said, nobody is coming to save you. And it's only but so much your family can do.
Definitely.
But your fate lies in a higher power. That's where your concern and your focus should be. And we honor and hold on, and we want to maintain this is immortality that we have for people.
Mm.
But the truth is, no one is immortal. No one can decide where you end up after you leave here, and not a single soul can step in and advert anything that comes forth from what you decide to invest your energy into,
Definitely. Mm.
to play around with it, and to take it so candidly is irresponsible, especially when you reach a certain age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, do you have any final thoughts or anything that you would like to say to anybody who is listening or watching right now before we conclude?
Okay. Um. Uh, if, if you're the type of person who is constantly stuck in this rut of negativity, um, I'll say this now, and I'll say this for free. Your best bet to that is to stop feeding it. That's your first priority to that. Stop feeding that train of negative energy because it's not going to get any better. You know what they say, misery loves company, right? So if you want to keep feeling that thing, even if it's destructive and detrimental to your health and your life, but you it seems kind of it has this alluring energy that wants to keep you going on, and you just want to keep going on that train because it's the only comfort you ever know. I trust me, I've been there myself, so I know where I'm coming from. So it has this alluring um, component to it that you just want to keep going with it, and you feel, oh, no one understands your struggle, and no one understands your journey and all that, and you just have to keep in this rut. No, no, because the other side of that is bliss. I'm not even talking about happiness. This is not being happy or sad. Because if you're happy, then there's sadness coming right along the line. So this is no longer happiness. This is bliss. Bliss has no polarity. It's just ease. It's just a state of being that negativity wouldn't uh, walk around it, wouldn't function because you're not there to feed it. There's no negative energy in you to perpetrate that in the other person. You're not feeding it. You stopped feeding stuff like that years ago. You've moved from that dimension to a positive one and arbitrate your life in that direction. So I'll say this: if you're stuck in negativity for some reason, you need to take a step back and just stop feeding it. It's not a walk in the park, or you know, a drop of water can make an ocean. Once you just start gradually, take, allow yourself fail, go with it, fail, make mistakes, come back to it again, but be committed to transforming your life to have a better, full life, because it's your right. It's your right to have a very full and happy life instead of just being there, being negative and tormenting, having a tumultuous life, which is not. It's not a good place to be.
Wise words, and I'm grateful. Like this is monumental.
Mm.
This is special. This is super valuable information because you're not just getting um, a content creator or someone with a million people watching them, staring at them, waiting for them to make a joke or um, distract you from really what's happening in the world.